Atlanta divided. Kirk's shocking words pushed Mendeecees to his breaking point in front of the entire crowd. The velvet Georgia dusk had barely settled when the rooftop lights of the Midtown Lounge flared to life, a galaxy of bulbs flickering above Atlanta's restless skyline. Down below, the city's Friday night traffic pulsed like a heartbeat, but up here the air was tight with expectation. Word had spread all week that the cast's first full-crew meetup since last season's finale was happening tonight. Cameras hovered like watchful hawks, and everyone knew something big was brewing. Mendeecees arrived first, a charcoal jacket slung casually over his shoulders, his easy grin masking the storm of second-guessing inside him. He'd been working for months to keep the peace, between family, business, and the sharp-edged friendships that seemed to fray with every new episode. Tonight, he wanted calm. No fireworks. But calm wasn't in Kirk's vocabulary. Kirk strode in 20 minutes late, rocking a crimson blazer that turned heads as if he'd choreographed it. His eyes scanned the rooftop until they locked on Mendeecees. A slow, knowing smile crept across his face, the kind that warns of words too sharp to swallow. "Look who's playing peacemaker," Kirk said, voice loud enough for the microphones to catch. Mendeecees, the man of the hour. "Tell me, did you finally figure out how to keep your house in order, or are you still outsourcing that job?" The crowd froze. Even the city's hum seemed to hush. Mendeecees' jaw tightened. He'd heard whispers about Kirk's habit of baiting people, but this job was personal, too personal. Cameras zoomed closer, the producers almost salivating. "I came here to talk business, not gossip," Mendeecees replied, steady but low. "If you've got something real to say it like a man." Kirk chuckled, swirling the amber in his glass. "Business? Please. Atlanta's tired of your speeches. Maybe if you spent less time frontin' and more time watching your family, folks wouldn't have stories to tell." Gasps rippled through the cast. Rashida, standing a few feet away, shot Kirk a glare sharp enough to slice through steel. "Kirk, chill. That's not cool," she warned. But Kirk leaned closer, relentless. "Nah, they need to hear it. Everybody acts like Mendeecees is some saint. I'm just saying what the street's been saying." The words landed like stones in Mendeecees' chest. For months, he'd worked to rebuild trust after past mistakes, late nights in the studio, missed dinners, broken promises he was finally keeping. To have it all mocked in public burned hotter than the summer air. He took a slow breath, eyes locked on Kirk. "You don't know me like that," he said, voice trembling with controlled fury. "And you don't talk about my family. Ever." But Kirk wasn't finished. "Then show up for them instead of chasing cameras," he snapped. That was the spark. Mendeecees stepped forward, shoulders squared. The rooftop shrank to a narrow tunnel of adrenaline. Security edged closer. Someone whispered for the cameras to keep rolling. "You want to question my character in front of everybody?" Mendeecees said, his tone now a thunderclap. "Say it to my face without the crowd. Or better yet, keep my name out your mouth and handle your own mess first." Kirk's grin faltered. For a beat, only the city lights dared to move. Rashida placed a hand on Kirk's arm, a silent plea. "This isn't it," she said softly. "We came here to build, not break." Mendeecees exhaled, the air thick with unshed rage. He wasn't a man who liked scenes, but something inside him had snapped. All the long nights, the second chances, the constant judgment, it boiled into this single rooftop confrontation. Finally, he stepped back. "I'm done with this," he said, turning toward the exit. "I don't need to prove anything to someone who can't even own his own mistakes." The crowd parted as he walked away, cameras chasing every stride. Behind him, Kirk stood silent, the weight of his own words settling in. The fallout rippled across Atlanta before dawn. Social feeds exploded. Hashtag rooftop reckoning. Hashtag Mendeecees breaks. Hashtag Kirk went too far. Clips of the tense face-off looped endlessly, dissected by fans, bloggers, and late-night hosts. Yet beneath the viral headlines, something deeper stirred. For Mendeecees, the night became a turning point. He realized that every choice, from the people he let close to the battles he chose to fight, defined the legacy he wanted for his family more than any reality show storyline could. By sunrise, he was back home, the quiet hum of his kitchen grounding him. Yandy sat across the table, her gaze a mix of concern and pride. "You held it together," she said softly. "Barely," he admitted. "But I'm done letting someone else write my story." She reached for his hand, and for the first time that night, he felt the tension lift. Atlanta remained divided in the days that followed. Some fans sided with Kirk, claiming he only said what others were thinking. Others rallied behind Mendeecees, praising his restraint and calling Kirk out for reckless provocation. The cast's next meetup promised fireworks, but for Mendeecees, the decision was already made. He would no longer be baited into someone else's chaos. Because sometimes the most powerful breaking point isn't the explosion, it's the moment you choose not to break at all.